Hey, what's up, Guardians? TBL here, and today is Friday, March 13th. And Xur, Agent of the Nine, has once again arrived at the tower to bring us some good stuff. And over the course of this video, we will of course be covering Xur's inventory, and I'll be giving you my opinion on what I think is worth it and what's not. But alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, this week, you'll find the Agent of the Nine has set up shop in the middle of the Vanguard hold. So simply follow the path that I'm taking here and you'll find him next to the table with all the Vanguard heads. Alright, big guy, what you got for us this week? Now, right off the bat there, you can see at least one very good item that Xur's got in his inventory, and we're going to be getting to that in just a little bit. But first up, we are going to be covering the armor that Xur has on sale this week. Now, this week for Titans, Xur is offering an insurmountable Skullford, which is an exotic helmet piece. This beauty is rocking full 108 discipline, which isn't bad but isn't great either, and comes with the added benefit of allowing your Storm Fist kills to regenerate your health, as well as allowing you to spawn with full melee energy. It's sort of like Void Fang vestments for Titans. Next up, we've got the Knucklehead Radar, once again on sale for hunters. This wonderful helmet piece allows your minimap to show even when you're ADSing with primary weapons. It's pretty good for PvP. And this piece comes with a max of 105 strength, which again is not too bad, but is not really the optimal stat run. Still a pretty great helm if you're a hunter inside the Crucible. And finally, for Warlocks, Xur is offering the Claws of Ahamkara, an exotic gauntlet piece, and boy are these things awesome. These claws are rocking a discipline and strength mix and come with the awesome abilities of speeding up your melee as well as granting you an additional melee ability charge. That means if you're a Voidwalker, you get a second energy drain. If you are a Sunbro, then you get a second Scorch. The implications here are great. It's basically Gift of the Sun for your melee abilities. Double flame shields, double life steal, double energy surge, all of that good stuff. It is a fantastic piece of armor for both PvE and PvP since you can never get enough Flame Shield. Plus, you get to run around rocking the feathers of an Ahamkara dragon. Definitely worth it in my opinion. But alright, we're moving on to weapons now, and oh boy does Xur have a big one this week. This week, Xur is selling the exotic pulse rifle, the Red Death. That's right, this one kinda came out of left field, people. Xur has only sold this once before. And after the recent buff to pulse rifles, this is probably one of the best weapons in the game, so spoiler tag here, pick it up if you can. I have no problem giving you guys my verdict a little early in this video, pick this weapon up. But as you can see, the Red Death comes with a pretty decent fire rate and a great amount of impact. This weapon actually hits so hard that it is a 2-burst kill in the Crucible. At least as long as you land those precision shots, but this thing is pretty easy to handle, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. But now let's take a look at the weapon's perks and abilities. This gun is of course non-elemental, so it deals kinetic damage. And in the first bracket, Red Death is rocking Accurized Ballistics, Field Choke, and finally, Aggressive Ballistics. Of the three, I generally go with Aggressive Ballistics since it gives you a little bit of an increase to impact and stability. Trying to get a good mix between optimal stability and optimal damage output is generally what I try to go for. Up next, this weapon is rocking Unflinching, where it becomes easier to aim under fire while using this weapon. For you Call of Duty fans out there, this is sort of like the Toughness ability, where essentially you flinch less while being shot. It's totally necessary in Call of Duty, and it definitely helps out in Destiny 2. In Red Death's middle tree, we've got Snapshot, so you can aim the weapon really fast, high caliber rounds so you can over-penetrate and stagger targets, and finally the Single Point Sling ability, which allows you to swap your weapons really quickly. Of the middle tree, I generally stick with the first two perks. Snapshot if I'm playing in PvP where I, have to have really fast reaction timing, and high caliber rounds if I'm in PvE, because staggering enemies is always a good thing. Finally, we have the signature namesake ability for this weapon, Red Death, where each and every kill that you get with this gun heals you and speeds up your reloads. This is a crazy, super helpful ability, especially in in-game content like Crota's End. It's sort of like the Suros Regime special ability, except the healing is guaranteed on this one. Every single kill that you get will heal you. As a Red Death owner myself with the ability unlocked, you will find a lot of utility for this in both PvP and PvE. It really helps in those clutch situations. But anyways, that is the Red Death, everybody. It is a fantastic weapon and I would greatly recommend picking it up right now from Xur. I definitely get a feeling this one won't be back for quite some time. But alright, moving on, Xur is of course offering exotic shards as well as an exotic helmet piece engram. This engram can of course be redeemed at the Cryptarch for a chance at any exotic helmet piece in the game. But alright now, let's move on to weapon and armor upgrades. Now, in terms of upgrades this week, we have a lot of familiar faces. First up is the Mask of the Third Man and the Lucky Raspberry, an exotic hunter helmet piece and chest piece respectively. In particular, the Lucky Raspberry is rocking an awesome max intellect stat roll of 160, which means it might actually be worth it to upgrade or re-roll the Lucky Raspberry if you're looking to min-max a set. But alright, moving on to Titan gear, this week, Xur is offering upgrades for the Helm of Saint 14 as well as the Helm of Inmost Light. Two great Titan helms in their own right. The Helm of Saint 14 in particular I think Xur was selling last week. So hopefully you picked one up then and don't quite have to upgrade one now. And finally, moving forward, in terms of Warlock gear available for upgrade, Xur is offering upgrades for the Light Beyond Nemesis exotic helm piece and the exotic Warlock gauntlets, the Sunbreakers. And that is pretty much it for armor upgrades this week, so let's move on to the weapons. Starting us off this week is the exotic auto rifle, the Hardlight, which is still in my opinion one of the coolest looking weapons in the game. It also gets the really neat ability of having rounds that over-penetrate targets and then ricochet off walls, meaning you can hit the same target multiple times with a single bullet. Unfortunately, performance-wise, this weapon just doesn't quite hold up to some of the other auto rifles in the game, especially after the recent auto rifle nerf. Next up, Xur is offering upgrades for the Red Death exotic pulse rifle, which of course he is selling this week. And of course, you guys know how I feel about that. If you've got an old 300 max attack version of the Red Death, you're better off just buying the new one rather than upgrading the old. Next up, Xur is offering upgrades for the Universal Remote exotic shotgun. He was selling this a couple of weeks ago, I do believe. And hopefully you picked one up then. But next up, we've got the exotic fusion rifle, the Plan C, which has a ton of impact and also provides a really great fire rate. This is definitely a weapon for you PvP guys out there. I know personally I've had many a bad encounter with it. But moving on, Xur is offering upgrades for the Patience in Time exotic sniper rifle, which personally I'd be surprised if anybody still has a 300 max attack version of this weapon. It just seems to be one of those exotics that drops like candy. But finally, Xur is offering upgrades for the exotic rocket launcher, the Truth. Which you guys know how I feel about Truth. It's one of my favorite PvP weapons. Just fantastic. The tracking rockets on this thing are amazing. Really fun weapon to use. But anyways, that about wraps it up for the weapons and armor upgrades. Finally, we've got the strange Krios that Xur has on sale this week. And as always, starting us off are telemetries, which boost the amount of EXP you get for a specified weapon type. And this week, Xur is offering scout rifle telemetries, machine gun telemetries, and finally, rocket launcher telemetries, which can of course be bought in a pack of 5 for 1 strange coin. Alright, now moving on to the Sparrow upgrade drives, this week, Xur is offering the Emerald Coil as well as the Void Drive, both of which will of course upgrade your blue, rare level Sparrow into a legendary. And now finally, Xur is once again offering Heavy Ammo Synth, 5 for 1 strange coin. As always, this is a fantastic deal and you should take advantage of it pretty much as often as you can. These synths are an absolute godsend in the in-game content like the Vault of Glass or Crota's End. And you can bet your biscuit that it'll be the same once House of Wolves drops. But alright, there we go. That pretty much covers it for Xur's inventory this week. I know this went on a little bit longer than usual, but we really had to get a little bit in depth on that wonderful Red Death pulse rifle. And this is usually the part of the video where I give you guys my verdict on things, although I kind of spoiled into that a little bit early. Pick up the Red Death. It is a fantastic weapon now. It is one of the rarer weapons in the game. You know, Xur has only sold it once before, and it is an absolute beast in PvP. Plus, you can never have enough guns that heal you, right? But alright, with that, we are calling it quits. That about wraps up this video, guys. Hopefully Xur had something in his inventory that you were looking forward to or that you can make use out of. And if you did, let me know in the comment section below. But anyways, that about wraps this one up, guys. If you like what you saw here, do feel free to check out my channel where you can find a ton more Destiny videos coming out soon. And of course, make sure you follow me on social media like Twitch and Twitter @TheBlackLink, so you can get the heads up on everything I do as it happens. But alright, that's going to be it for this one, guys. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.